Like many neurodivergent people, I struggle to stay organised and on top of my to-do list and my life. The reason we struggle is because of our difficulties with executive function. Executive functioning could be described as the management system of the brain. The skills involved enable us to set goals, make plans, and meet these goals. So if these skills are impacted by our neurodivergence, then that means that no amount of excited planner purchases, organisation system setups, or special apps is going to enable us to be able to get the things done. If you'd like to know more about executive function, I'd suggest you watch the video that I made on the topic, which I'll link to in the description box below. I've tried calendar blocking, bullet journaling, and self-flagellation. I've watched organisation YouTube channels, bought special journals and written the things on post-it notes to stick on the wall. In fact, I've spent so much of my time developing systems of organisation that I could have probably gotten all the things done with time to spare. The reason that these attempts at organisation didn't work for me is because they weren't flexible enough. As someone with a really busy life and very limited energy, I need a system that allows for that. And secondly, I got bored. I'd start a new system with so much excitement, only to find that a few weeks later, my brain would get bored with it, refuse to engage with it, and the system no longer worked. So, about a year ago, I decided to try developing my own system, taking into account the needs that I have, and that's the system that I'm going to share with you today. It's been working really well for me, so perhaps it will help you as is. But if not, I'll talk about the principles that I applied to help you develop a system that works for you. Because the person who knows your brain best and how to keep it engaged is you. Okay, let's dive into my system. It's multi-layered and takes into account all of my needs. My system uses Google Calendar, Google Keep, the Apple Reminders app, and a notebook. I use this system to organise my schedule and my tasks. In Google Calendar, I keep all of my appointments, both my own and my family's. Within Google Calendar, I colour code the entries depending on what category they fit in and who they involve. So for example, anything that is outside of the house and an appointment is purple, anything that is inside of the house and an appointment is blue, anything that involves the children is pink. I add any and all events, even daily repeating events like the school run, so that I'm in control of my schedule every day and completely know how much time I've got to fit in other things around that. So with my schedule under control, I can turn my attention to tasks. My tasks are divided into regular tasks like making my TikTok every day, dealing with my emails and walking Coco. And irregular tasks, which includes the stages that I go through when I'm making YouTube videos like scripting, filming and editing, and anything that is more of a one-off kind of a task. For irregular tasks, I have a to-do list on Google Keep. On Google Keep, I have 3 to-do lists, one for personal tasks, one for work tasks, and one for things that need to be purchased. I enter my tasks onto these lists with an accompanying due date. Top tip, set your due date for a few days before the task is actually due to make sure that you'll get it done. So I know that I need to have my scripts ready for filming day, and I need to have it edited ready for upload day. This helps me to prioritise my tasks dependent on their due dates. Google Keep is also the place for my meal plan, my shopping list, and other helpful lists like my YouTube video upload schedule, TikTok and Instagram ideas, and even a list of what I'm watching on TV. Because yes, I can forget that I was watching something midway through a season. Then I move on to my Apple Reminders. I use Apple Reminders because I have an iPhone, but basically any app that you can schedule reminders onto will work for this. Here I put everyday tasks like Coco's walks and taking my meds, as well as tasks that happen on the same day every week, like Wednesday is filming day and Friday is upload day. So most days look something like this. I'll also add stuff in here that has a specific date, like when I get my meds, I work out when I'm next going to need to order them, and then I put a reminder for that date in Apple Reminders. The reminders that are time specific, like taking my meds, I set an actual alarm for, and that's really handy because it lets me know on my phone and on my Apple Watch, which means I'm much less likely to forget. So I've been working with these systems for about the last 2 years, but I found that it was a little bit too easy to just not look at Apple Reminders and not look at Google Keep and then just not do the things. Which is why I tried bullet journaling, because I figured that the daily task of doing the journal would keep me on track. But it was way too complicated, and I got too sucked into the act of actually journaling rather than actually doing the thing. So my compromise was to start to use a notepad for, I guess, a kind of simplified bullet journal. An important aspect of this, and I think the thing that's been keeping me on track, is my morning planning session with my notebook. I start with my tasks list in the notebook. I write a list of all the tasks that are on my Apple reminders for that day, and then depending on how much free time and energy I've got, I look at the other lists on Google Keep and choose some tasks from there to add to that list in my notebook. I also prioritise up to 3 tasks. These are the day's must-dos. Within my system, if something doesn't get done that day, then I put a little arrow which shows me that I'm going to move it on to the next day. Next, I write down my day's schedule. This gives me a feel for how much time I've got that day and how I might fit into the tasks that I've written down into that day. Finally, I use this cute washi tape to make an area for my notes, and I add a cute sticker just for fun. As silly as this sounds, my ADHD dopamine hunting brain responds really well to doing things that are just for fun. Then I simply follow my notebook to guide me through the day. I think that the reason that this system works for me is that I developed it over time based on what was and wasn't working from other systems that I tried. So if you want to develop a system that works for you, I'd start by thinking about what tends to work for you. Do you work best with a digital system or an app-based system, or do you seem to do better when you go analogue and just stick with pen and paper? Or perhaps like me, you need a system that combines both of those things. How will you make sure you engage with your system each day? For that reason, I'd highly recommend a system that involves a daily planning session to make sure that you are looking at it and engaged with it every single day. Then, how will you prevent your brain from getting bored with it after a few weeks? For this issue, I'd recommend making small tweaks to your existing system. Within my notebook, I change the stickers that I'm using each day, or I might buy myself a cute pen that I enjoy using, or I might change the colour system that I'm using in my calendar. As silly as it sounds, these little tweaks make it new and exciting again, and then I want to engage with it. It's amazing how much a new packet of stickers can revitalise my interest and engagement with an organisation system. I hope you found this video helpful. I'd love to hear about your organisation system and what does and doesn't work for you. So leave me a comment and let me know how you do or don't stay organised. Finally, if you liked the video, please hit the like button and, subscribe if you fancy. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.